some of the most progressive and left parts of the Democratic Party are standing, for the kind of side that have kinds of organizations like Hamas or these kind of nations that there are no rights for women, and they certainly don't embrace the LGBTQ kinds of lifestyle. And even in Philadelphia, the Queers for Palestine blocked the Pride parade in Philadelphia, and I never saw that on the bingo card, but it's really
That's Democrat Senator John Fetterman telling Trump derangement syndrome patient Bill Maher that the left has gone too far for him. Welcome to Nerk News, I'm Nerkish, and it looks like the pool of disaffected Democrats seems to be growing larger and larger as fence-sitters and radicals draw the ideology to its inevitable conclusion. The only question now is, will the party members with some sense realize this or keep repeating the cycle over and over until there's nothing left of the country to ruin?
You said, I'm not a progressive, I'm a Democrat. What does that mean? What is that distinction? Because I don't think I've used the word progressive. I think I've said woke. I think there's a big difference between woke, and I know that word triggers a lot of people because it had a great beginning as a meaning, but words migrate, and it went to something else. I think there's a big difference between an old school liberal and a woke person. You say progressive Democrat. How do you describe this?
Yeah, no, I agree. It's like I've just say, and I've been saying that for years, actually. I said that, I didn't leave the label. It left me on that.
Right.
And that really, after it happened on October 7th, I really knew that that whole progressive stack would be blasted apart, and there's not going to be any kind of way how the Democrats are going to be able to reply to that kind of, respond to that kind of. And I really decided early on that I believed that was going to be the right side with Israel throughout all of that. And I knew that would going to be, Democrats would continue to peel away and kind of walk away from standing with Israel on that. But that's where I decided after.
How do you explain that, if you can, that the people who consider themselves the most liberal have abandoned Israel, which was always a liberal darling, for the people who, a terrorist organization, the people who outwardly say they want a genocide, who outwardly are the one side of this who is against the two-state solution. Somehow they wound up with them. Why do you think that is? And will this split the Democratic Party?
Well, it does, because there's an appeal there. And I think
now, a lot of this is dressed up in talk about Israel and all that, but the things that they have issue with are baked into the cake of liberalism. At its core, it's an ideology of entropy. It's designed to be a slippery slope. That's the nature of not conserving things. Maher and Fetterman are scratching their heads in confusion about what's going on college campuses, but who has a stranglehold on academia? Who's been brainwashing kids into hating white people and Western values? It's liberals and the left. Here's Fetterman on CNN saying the exact same thing to the confoundment of equine host Dana Bash.
For the president in this situation seems to be more coming from very safe and blue, very kinds of places. Now, in Pennsylvania, the border security is an important issue, and we do all believe that we should have a secure border. And I never thought it was unreasonable for any Democrat to want to make our border more secure.
I want to ask you personally about your own sort of journey, as the kids say. Some progressives have criticized you for being a different senator than you suggested you would be when you were a candidate for Senate. What do you say to that?
Well, I wasn't. I was very clear for saying that for years I'm not a progressive, and I just identified myself as just a regular Democrat. So it really wasn't any new news. Now, 8 years ago, I was a progressive, but the situation's changed, and I've been very clear that I didn't leave that label. That label left me, and I think it's much more important to be focusing on Donald Trump.
Now, after saying all this, Fetterman was involved in a serious car accident and rushed to a hospital in West Virginia. So I wish him and his wife a speedy recovery, and God bless him for trying to be intellectually honest enough to suss some of this stuff out. I mean, he's one of the only Democrats I can think of who've been outspoken about what's going on at the border, and not just when it became politically advantageous to do so, which takes guts in a party that's increasingly becoming rotten to its core. I mean, there's really not much distinction between how progressives speak about Israel and how they speak about America. The only difference seems to be that they occasionally pretend to like our country because it's a useful tool for them to wield power. But let me know what you think. Is liberalism ultimately a self-destructive ideology? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. This stuff really does help us out. Until then, this has been Nerk News. Thanks for watching.